Does it feel different going into this season than it maybe did last season when you were kind of the hunted as the champions? There's sort of different pressure in camp?
Yeah, it's something we spoke about a lot last season, was just the fact that we were off the back of a massive achievement, winning the league for the first time in a long time in this club. There's a couple of challenges that come with that, like you said. Part of it is how other clubs go into the game, so other teams go into the game knowing that you were the benchmark last season. There's maybe a bit more attached to it, or it's easy things for them to lean on. But also, there's a bit about, once you've gone to those highs, how do you just sort of come back down and go through the process of preparing for games and delivering again, which I think we did a good job of last year. But it feels different this year.
It's a kind of good game to start, isn't it? You've got a big South African team coming Friday night. You must be looking forward to that.
Absolutely. I think it's a great game to start, at home, and a really competitive fixture, no doubt. Every time we've played Sharks, it's been really competitive. They got one over us last season over there. South African team, so they'll be laying down the physical challenge that we need to be ready to meet head on, and lots of attacking threats. So there'll be a challenge for our defence there to try and manage that. So I think it's the perfect start basically in terms of the challenge that it offers. Because the league points that are on offer are important ones. We both finished in the top 4 last season, so it should be an exciting one.
Was that one of the frustrations last season? You kind of sat second in the log for so long of the campaign, but then you kind of just missed out the tail end of the season, and obviously you missed out in that home semi-final.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well it makes you look back at the ones that you let slip, whether it was just rocking up on the day and not being there mentally and not performing to the way you would like to, or if it's a couple of technical points in the game that big moments just got away from you, and then all of a sudden there's 2 points here, 3 points here, 4 points there that you've missed out on that you could have had. It makes a massive difference. So that's even more reason for why this weekend is so important. Every game that there's league points on offer, you have to really go and deliver.
You've also kept the majority of the squad. Some players have left, TJ, Henko, but it must be kind of common in the group that you can go and have success again this season, because you've been pretty consistent under Franco the last few seasons. Yeah,
and I think something that he does really well is giving the whole squad an opportunity. So you've seen in the pre-season guys who maybe didn't get as many minutes last year playing really to a really high standard and getting a good result against Saints in the last game. So that's exciting, and like I was saying earlier, it's a natural progression of, since I've come to Glasgow every year, there's faces that leave and faces that come in, and there's just a real push from everyone who comes through the building to push the club in the right direction. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more of the guys that didn't play as much last season. I think what we have seen of them in the pre-season stuff's been really exciting. So just looking forward to seeing how they go and seeing what they can add.
You obviously suffered a lot of injuries, not you personally, but the squad did last season. I mean, how big is it to have someone like Jack Dempsey back in the back row? Such a key player who missed virtually the entire of last campaign.
Yeah, it's really, really important for us. He's obviously a key player, not just to Glasgow but in Scotland. What he adds in terms of ball carrying and physicality, a bit of experience, a bit of sort of like mentality, and the way he approaches the game. He's going to be a massive addition to us, and outside of him there's loads of guys as well who are going to come and hopefully add value in those departments. But I think Jack Dempsey in particular is a really big plus for us this season.
Just kind of looking at the kind of contract situation of the two coaches, Franco's obviously extended here, which is big for the club, but also internationally you captained Scotland in the summer. I mean, Gregor's signed a new contract there. I mean, how do you feel about those two? Are you happy they both decided to stay on? You've got that continuity?
Yeah, definitely happy. I think continuity is the word there for sure. It's exciting that those two are staying on and going to continue to sort of push Glasgow and push Scotland in the right direction. Hopefully, get some successes over the next few years.
Is there a confidence you can, not just here but obviously at Scotland as well, with such a Glasgow core, that you can have success with at the international level as well under Gregor?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the amount of boys picked for the Lions, and then to see how well they all went, like Scott, Johnny, and Hugh. You know, to see them mixing it with the teams who are sort of pipping us in recent years in the Six Nations. The Home Nations obviously is encouraging, you know, because you're seeing guys they play week in, week out, and you know the quality of them, but then you're seeing them train and play as well as they did. So, you know, that's another thing. And like you said, yeah, the continuity from Glasgow and Edinburgh and coming together, and you know, all the experiences over the last few years in both shirts, I think is putting us in a really good place for this season.
Cheers.